The human brain is a mystery. It is the most complex object in the known universe. What happens to our brains when we die? Does consciousness simply cease to exist? Or does some part of us live on? Recent discoveries suggest the brain may not be as silent as we thought. Death was once defined as the heart stopping. Advances now show the dying process in detail. The brain doesn't simply go dark, there's a last gasp of energy. Imagine a world where the dead could speak, where their last thoughts and memories could be accessed. Recent research suggests this may not be as far-fetched as we once believed. Scientists can detect brain activity after the heart stops. This raises the possibility of unlocking the secrets of the dying brain. Early findings challenge our assumptions about death. Delta brain waves, linked to deep sleep, have been observed in deceased patients. This suggests some level of consciousness might persist after the heart stops. The definition of death has evolved over time. In the past, death was a simpler concept. If your heart stopped beating and you stopped breathing, you were considered dead. However, the invention of life support machines in the 20th century challenged this definition. Machines could now keep your heart beating and your lungs breathing even when your brain was no longer functioning. This led to the concept of brain death, a state where there is irreversible cessation of all brain function. This definition is now widely accepted in the medical community. However, the recent discovery of post-mortem brain activity has muddied the waters once again. If the brain is still active after we are declared brain dead, does that mean we are not truly gone? The line between life and death is becoming increasingly blurred. Advances in medical technology allow us to sustain biological functions, even when the brain is no longer in control. This raises profound ethical and philosophical questions about the nature of consciousness and the definition of death itself. Scientists use a variety of techniques to study post-mortem brain activity. One method is electroencephalography, or EEG. EEG measures electrical activity in the brain using electrodes placed on the scalp. Another technique is functional magnetic resonance imaging, or fMRI. fMRI detects changes in blood flow within the brain, providing a glimpse into brain activity. These studies have revealed some astonishing findings. For example, researchers in Germany found that some patients who were considered brain dead exhibited brain activity for several minutes after their heart stopped beating. This activity included delta waves, which are typically associated with deep sleep or unconsciousness. Researchers are also exploring the use of optogenetics, a technique that uses light to control neurons, to study post-mortem brain activity. This cutting-edge technology could potentially allow scientists to reactivate specific areas of the brain after death, providing even deeper insights into the brain's final moments. Section 5. The mystery of near-death experiences. Near-death experiences, or NDEs, have long been a subject of fascination and debate. People who have had NDEs often report similar experiences, such as seeing a bright light, feeling a sense of peace, or having an out-of-body experience. While some dismiss NDEs as hallucinations, others believe they provide a glimpse into the afterlife. Could there be a scientific explanation for NDEs? Some researchers believe that the unusual brain activity observed in the moments after death might hold the key. For example, the surge in electrical activity could trigger vivid hallucinations. Alternatively, the release of certain neurochemicals such as endorphins could induce feelings of euphoria and peace. While the scientific community remains divided on the nature of NDEs, the experiences of those who have had them are impossible to ignore. These accounts provide compelling anecdotal evidence that the human mind may be capable of extraordinary experiences, even in the face of death. Section 6. Can you hear me now? The brain responds after death. In a groundbreaking study published in 2019, researchers at the University of British Columbia made a startling discovery. They found that the brains of deceased patients continued to respond to sound for several hours after death. This finding challenges the long-held belief that all brain activity ceases immediately after the heart stops beating. The study involved playing a series of auditory stimuli, such as beeps and tones, to brain-dead patients. To their surprise, the researchers observed distinct brainwave patterns in response to the sounds. These patterns were similar to those observed in healthy, conscious individuals. This discovery has profound implications for our understanding of consciousness and the dying process. It suggests that the brain may be capable of processing sensory information even after death. This raises the tantalizing possibility that a dying person might still be able to hear and process the voices of their loved ones, even if they are unable to respond. Section 7. The ethical dilemma of the alive brain. The discovery of post-mortem brain activity raises a host of ethical dilemmas. If the brain is still active after we are declared dead, does that change our obligations to the deceased? For example, should we reconsider organ donation practices if there's a chance the donor might still be aware on some level? The implications of this research extend beyond organ donation. It challenges our very understanding of life, death, and what it means to be human. If consciousness can persist after the heart stops beating, does that mean death is not the end? And if so, what are the ethical and societal implications of this realization? As we delve deeper into the mysteries of the human brain, we are forced to confront uncomfortable questions about the nature of life and death. The boundaries of our knowledge are constantly expanding, challenging our beliefs and forcing us to rethink our place in the cosmos. Section 8. What this means for organ donation. Organ donation is a life-saving act. It gives those with failing organs a second chance at life. However, the process of organ donation is complex and relies on the timely identification of suitable donors. Traditionally, organ donation occurs after a person is declared brain dead. This means there is irreversible cessation of all brain function. The discovery of post-mortem brain activity has raised questions about the timing of organ donation. If the brain is still active after we are declared brain dead, could the organ donation process cause pain or suffering to the donor? While there is no evidence to suggest this is the case, it is a question that requires careful consideration. The medical community is actively exploring ways to improve organ donation practices in light of this new research. This includes developing more precise tests for brain death and exploring alternative criteria for organ donation that take into account the possibility of residual brain activity. Section 9. Debunking the myths of post-mortem brain activity. The discovery of post-mortem brain activity has sparked a great deal of speculation and misinformation. It's important to separate fact from fiction and rely on scientific evidence when interpreting these findings. Here are some common myths about post-mortem brain activity. Myth: post-mortem brain activity means we can communicate with the dead. Fact: while research shows the brain can respond to stimuli after death, this doesn't mean we can have meaningful conversations with the deceased. The brain activity observed is rudimentary and doesn't demonstrate conscious thought or the ability to communicate. Myth: post-mortem brain activity proves the existence of an afterlife. Fact: while intriguing, post-mortem brain activity doesn't offer definitive proof of an afterlife. It simply highlights the brain's remarkable resilience and the complex cascade of events that occur after death. As with any emerging field of study, it's crucial to approach claims with a healthy dose of skepticism and rely on peer-reviewed research for accurate information. Section 10. The future of death. Pushing the boundaries of life. The study of post-mortem brain activity is a rapidly evolving field. New discoveries are constantly challenging our understanding of death and pushing the boundaries of life. As technology advances, we can expect even more groundbreaking insights into the mysteries of the dying brain. One area of active research is the development of neuroprotective therapies. These therapies aim to prevent or delay brain damage after a cardiac arrest or other traumatic event. The goal is to improve the chances of survival and reduce the risk of long-term neurological impairment. Imagine a future where death is no longer an insurmountable barrier. While this may sound like science fiction, the rapid pace of scientific discovery suggests that we may be closer to this reality than we think. Section 11. Conclusion: life after death. Fact or fiction? The question of what happens after we die has captivated humanity for centuries. While science has made remarkable strides in understanding the biological processes of death, the ultimate fate of our consciousness remains a mystery. The discovery of post-mortem brain activity adds another layer of complexity to this enduring question. While we don't have all the answers, one thing is clear: the human brain is an incredibly complex and resilient organ. Even in death, it continues to amaze us with its hidden capabilities. As we continue to explore the mysteries of the brain, we may one day unlock the secrets of consciousness and gain a deeper understanding of our place in the universe. Until then, the question of life after death will likely remain a topic of debate speculation, and wonder.